What up?
Philly, what's up?
What is going on, everybody? Adam and Chris are checking in.
What's up?
What's up? Not the
What up, boy? Yeah, we know.
Yeah, we know. What's
Yep.
going on, Chris?
Chris, what's up, buddy?
Rich, listen, let's make this as painful as we can, and as painful and painless at the same time.
This shit sucks.
It really just does.
I don't like counting us out after 1.5 quarters, but we needed to win this one. Like, we needed to even the series before hopes of Joel Embiid coming back for Game 3. And I just don't see it happening. This team is flat out terrible without Joel Embiid, which solidifies his case for being the most valuable player in the league, which means absolutely dick if your team can't do shit without you.
Right. So, like, I'm looking at it from, like, the same perspective you are, right? Like, in these two games has shown me exactly what an MVP does for you, in the sense that it elevates the entire group around them. And when you see the asteroid-sized hole that is now in the middle of their team, in the fact that they can't get any offensive production from anywhere. They're not getting a whole lot of
nope.
They're getting nothing. And you see Miami take advantage of that on their offensive end because there's nobody to protect the middle.
No.
And you really are getting a really good glimpse at how weak their bench is.
Well, and not to fault anybody, but literally this was Doc Rivers' fault. Why keep him in the game with 3 minutes left when you're up 30 is fucking stupid. Another reason Doc should be fired, because single-handedly, this going down 0-2 is probably going to cost the Sixers the series if Joel Embiid cannot come back for Game 3. If he comes back for Game 4, they have to run the table, which is an unprecedented feat. And this solely falls on the shoulders of Doc Rivers. I don't want to hear any excuses from, him saying, well, this is the hand I was dealt. It's no, you kept your superstar in the game when you're up 30 points with 3 minutes left in the game. He should have never been in there for that situation. When they were up 25 with 5 minutes left, there should have been no reason for him to be in the game.
Rich, sometimes you make your own luck, right? Like you look at that Super Bowl run that the Eagles went on after Wentz gets injured.
Yeah.
Right. And Foles comes in and they struggle at first, but they start to tailor the offense to what Foles does well. They made their own luck, right? They created those opportunities to put themselves in positions to win. There's a reason why you have DeAndre Jordan and Paul Reed and Charles Bassey and all those other goobers that are on the end of the bench.
Yeah.
So that, like last night, Rich, when Miami goes on the run that they do, end of the third, into the fourth quarter, did you see Jimmy Butler the whole second half of the fourth quarter?
No, you're not going to. But that's the thing. When teams are well coached, and Spoelstra is a great coach, with 5 minutes left in that game, and that game is not going, you don't need to beat that team by 40 points. There's no statement to be made. The statement to be made is you won the game. You leave the game unscathed and healthy. But no, you leave the game with the MVP breaking his face and suffering a concussion. That is not a win. You won the series. Okay, that's the old saying. You might have won the battle, but you lost the war.
Right.
You're right now on the wrong side of the war, which is the NBA playoffs, which is going to be down 0-2 to a Heat's team that is charged up right now.
Yeah,
Do I think they can compete when Embiid is on the floor? It's closer than what you're going to see now. Meaning, for the Heat's perspective, I think the Heat can destroy this team, but with Embiid, You're giving me, okay, add 30 minus Embiid's not going to be a what? Minus 15 in 12 minutes, like DeAndre Jordan is.
Right. Yeah, you're not going to see the plus minus. Yeah. So
you're giving and taking. But as of right now, Miami's just taking whatever they want.
Whatever they want. I mean, they are literally able to do whatever they want on the court. They're able to get wherever they want offensively. They're able to control the Sixers defensively.
Yeah.
And when you look at the reason why Tobias, who played, we gave him a lot of crap during the season. He played really well in that Raptors series.
Yes.
Maxey played really well offensively in that Raptors series. Harden had moments where he played well. Why were they able to play well? They were able to play well because Embiid was on the floor. And he gains that attention. He draws 2 players. He draws 3 players. So he can kick it out, and the look is insanely more open than anything they're getting tonight.
I'm not counting them out because that's not what I do.
No.
But if Embiid doesn't play in Game 3 back in Philly, it's going to be a hard uphill battle because I don't think this team has enough dog in them. I don't think they have enough fight without Joel Embiid. So it's going to be tough. But Don, I am all in the preface of moving on from this because there's so much other stuff to talk about. And I don't want to say any more as the game's going on. Because I just can't do it, Don. Like, I don't want to harp on the negative energy of it because I just feel like it's going to be bad. I just really hope Joel Embiid comes back for Game 3. And then we have the return of the masked vigilante.
Yes, I think the thing that, Rich, that I'll kind of hang my hat on is, I liked the way that they played in the first half in the first game, right? There was a lot of fight that I saw in there. If they can capitalize on that, right? But it's hard to find, scenarios where you have Tyler Hero and Gabe Vincent that are killing these guys coming off the bench.
Yeah.
And
we knew our bench was going to be a problem.
We knew that going in. But
we didn't have a bench to start the year. So, I mean, there's nothing that's going to be different. You have too much money tied up in fucking Tobias.
I think the idea that Embiid is able to return Game 3, they're kind of talking like that might be the case. Anything that you're going to get from Embiid just physically being on the floor is going to be better than anything that's going on right now.
Yep.
So.
That was a good steal and good bucket, Maxey. Moving on, Don.
All right. Well, Rich, let's just transition to the big news last weekend with the NFL draft, right? And, in the mix of all the things that happened, Rich, the A.J. Brown deal goes down.
Yes.
Listen, if you want to go back and watch the MD Fantasy Live, the draft coverage, you can get my live reaction because it happened while we were on. That move to be able to trade 18 plus a couple of picks to be able. It
was 18 plus in a third. That was it. We
Right.
gave up nothing. We gave up absolutely nothing for a proven stud.
So a 24-year-old stud who's already had 2,000-yard seasons is a proven wide receiver in this league.
He's a proven one.
Right.
And
you now have him under contract for the next 4 years. That was the first round. That was the first round pick.
Yeah, and I think it's one of the best things that happens. But now you put Jalen Hurts to the test, saying, "Hey, we got you what you needed. So can you do this?"
Right.
So I mean, it's great. Hopefully he takes that step forward. But I mean, goddamn, like when the news broke, I was sitting there with my buddy, and he's like, "Yo." My brother just texted me saying the Eagles just traded for A.J. Brown. I'm like, nah. I'm like, no. And then all of a sudden it popped up on the screen. I was like, Eagles are trading their pick. Oh, crap. It's true. And we were so excited. It really helped because of the trade up from the first pick when we all thought it was going to be Kyle Hamilton.
Right.
And we were so disappointed just because I really wanted that all-pro generational safety.
I got you. It's the I had the pangs of right Brandon Graham, Ed Reed.
Yes, exactly.
It had a lot of those feels.
The Brandon Graham, Earl Thomas. I'm like, oh God. But you know what? I love David from Georgia. I love the fact that we got Nakobe Dean in the third round. Like, I love that.
Rich,
but
I think that's the pick.
That was a steal. I have no idea why.
I think everybody's going to look back on and go, "What the fuck did we miss?" Because I think he's going to. I watch. Forget all the analytical stuff. Watch that dude play football.
We talked about it on the show that we both wanted Nakobe Dean, and people were saying, "Well, he's too small."
Rich, if they would have picked him at 13 or 18, we would have been totally okay with it.
Oh, I'd been completely fine with it.
And you get him
happy with it.
At 83.
It was crazy because I was out doing something. My dad texted me and he goes, "Yeah, bud, we got our linebacker." And I'm like, dope. And I'm thinking, who the fuck is this linebacker we drafted? Because I thought Nakobe, I left at a certain point in the draft after the Steelers pick. So I'm like, Nakobe Dean's going to be gone in the first round. And then my dad's like, "Yeah, bud, we got our linebackers." I'm like, "Is he any good, Dad?" Like, come on, third round. He's like, "Stud." And I look and I'm like, "Holy shit, Dad, you didn't tell me it was Nakobe Dean." I'm like, "You're just talking about him on my show." I'm like, everybody's saying, "Oh, he's undersized, but the dude can fly and he tackles." I'm like, "That's fucking amazing."
Rich,
like, I got goosebumps. I'm like, I'm so excited. I'm like,
I was literally standing in front of the TV doing one of these, like, "Let's go."
Everybody was saying, he needed pec surgery. He needed this, but he goes, none of the doctors who talked to me said I needed surgery. Like, nobody told me anything about that. And the Eagles are expecting him to be ready for
rookie.
Preseason.
He said he's going to be at rookie minicamp.
Yeah,
right?
which is
crazy. I think that don't overlook the fact that in the last couple of drafts that they have drafted guys from really successful winning programs. Alabama,
that's what you should do, man. They finally caught on to draft SEC guys.
Look at Georgia and Alabama first, right? Then everybody else after that, and you're building a team full of guys that are used to winning, right? And the fact that you're now going to have Jordan Davis and Nakobe Dean on the same defense, there's some continuity there, and I think at least me, for everybody that's saying that him being on the field for 2 downs in Jordan Davis, listen, if he's massively productive on those 2 downs, and you're now putting your defense in 3rd and long, and he now goes off the field, and you bring 4 defensive ends in, and you get that NASCAR package, and
there's also a difference between college and the pros.
True,
he will probably be a 3-down player because he's going to be working with dietitians, a nutritionalist. They're not going to let him play at 340. Well, he's going to be playing at about 320, 330. They are going to be on him about his weight and his conditioning. So, and if he plays well at 320 to 330, he's going to be a 3-down player.
Rich, I watched a highlight. I watched a Baldy breakdown of him in a game against Alabama where he gets triple teamed and doesn't move.
Yeah, he's a stud.
So I can envision a place where he's getting double or triple teamed, right? So he's consuming blockers, which frees up space now for Hassan Reddick, for Kazir White, for Nakobe Dean, or
will it take the triple teams away from Fletcher Cox that we've all been hearing about? And because his production's been down, so he's been getting triple teamed. Right. So they can't put 6 guys on the line to triple team both of them, right? Because we should be able to get some sacks then, right?
Right.
That's not how it works.
If he's consuming blockers, that's
for the Fletcher Cox apologists. It's for that. Nobody apologizes for Aaron Donald when he's getting triple teamed and just throws everybody and still gets a sack or makes a tackle in the backfield. No apologies for Aaron Donald.
Listen. Fuck them. Sorry. They got a Super Bowl. Fuck them.
Yeah, fuck them. But I just have a good feeling that Jordan Davis is going to come into camp a little thinner. He'll still be able to be productive at that 225, 230 range. He doesn't need to play at 340. He really doesn't need to. But even if he does play at 340 and they get his conditioning down pat, I don't see how he can't be a 3-down player.
Listen, Rich, I watched that dude at north of
kills people. He murders people.
North of 350. Get wherever he wanted to on the field and not have a problem with.
No.
There was not an issue with speed. There was not an issue with conditioning.
He hawked down that one dude in Bama. He hawked him down 40 yards. 40 yards and made the tackle. Like holy shit.
So listen, you could also now envision, right, him and Fletch side by side.
Yeah.
Right. And then, Graham and Sweat. Like that's a form that with that one move, their defensive line got massively better.
Oh, yeah.
And then that makes the second level better. Now, Rich, the question is.
Secondary's trash.
Yeah.
Secondary's trash.
Who the fuck is playing safety and who's the
Kazir White.
corner?
Kazir White. He's got to be the other safety. But they're probably going to do like the one safety look. And Kazir White's going to play that Malcolm Jenkins role because he's the hybrid. He plays between both. But I'm not going to lie, though. That kid from Kentucky who's a linebacker who flies, he runs like a 4.25. The linebacker that we got from Kentucky in the 4th round.
Oh, Kentucky, Kansas.
I'm sorry, Kansas.
Kyron Johnson.
Yes. That dude flies. If they can have him figure out how to cover and how to play safety, I would not be upset because he is athletic as shit.
Either that or play like a Joker where he can just run all over the field.
That's what I'm saying. I think they are going to come out with an untraditional defense because of just the pure athleticism they have, which could play to an advantage, especially with how weak the NFC East is. I don't think the Giants got a little better in the draft, but you can't fix Daniel Jones. So, and if they think Tyrod Taylor is going to be an upgrade, they're wrong about that too.
No.
Competence-wise, Tyrod is a better quarterback, but he doesn't have the intangibles that Daniel Jones has. I see Washington not being that much better. I think they added a wide receiver, right? Did they add a wide receiver? I thought they added one.
Okay, so just not in the draft. They're undrafted free agents. So they all right, Rich, did you remember watching the Ohio State-Utah game?
Yes.
Okay, so the guy, Britton Covey, the guy who had the kickoff return?
Yes.
They got so he's the guy that they pulled.
Washington pulled?
No, not Washington.
The Eagles pulled.
The Eagles pulled.
Okay, good.
In terms of undrafted free agents.
Okay. We got Job from Alabama.
Right, which
he's burnt toast. I don't.
No, but here's the thing, Rich. In terms of all the undrafted free agents, right? You've got 3 undrafted free agents that are corners.
Yeah, I like the kid from Clemson, though. Kid from Clemson should be all right.
And I think there's a really good chance he makes the roster considering all the guaranteed money that they gave him in order to be able to sign.
I think he had more of character issues and off the field stuff over talent because that kid is uber talented.
Rich, I also heard them talk about the fact that the draft pool was a lot bigger this year.
Oh, it was deep. Defense was so deep.
Well, because there were a lot of guys that didn't leave after that COVID year.
Yep.
So the undrafted free agent class is a lot stronger. Rich, any thoughts about the idea that they get the kid from Nevada to be the third quarterback? Carson Strong.
I like Carson Strong.
The kid listen, he's got
a hell of an arm, man.
Monster arm.
He does have a monster arm.
Has knee issues, but
you know what the thing is? I want to see how that kid progresses because I can see not this year, next year, him being the number 2 because I think you're going to find some teams who are going to have interest in Minshew. So it's kind of just security for honestly for a backup spot. I do like Strong. I mean, I think he has a big arm. Like you said, he's got like the knee concerns, but there's been crazier shit that's happened with quarterbacks who were drafted or who go undrafted, who are decent. And like you said, this draft, if you take out, say, 50 players, right? 50 players who were supposed to be drafted in, say, last year's draft because they came out, that narrows that pool down, right? So you're essentially, it's a round and a half. So you take out some of them better players. You're going to see some of these guys who are undrafted get drafted. That's just how it happens. I would see Strong going in like the 5th or 6th round. He had knee concerns. It's not the whole thing he can't play quarterback at an NFL level. He's got knee concerns, but he's a project. He's going to be a guy that you're going to have to string along. None of the quarterback prospects were that good this year.
No. And look, like
Kenny Pickett's the only one who went to a good situation because he doesn't have that big arm, and he's got a bunch of guys. He's got Deontay Johnson. He's just going to pepper and dump the ball off to Najee. Like he's a quarterback who's going to fit that system because Mike Tomlin's a great coach. Like Mike Tomlin still was above 500 last year with the skeleton of Ben Roethlisberger. Because Mike Tomlin's a great coach. Mike Tomlin knows, hey, if I'm on the road, we're going to run the ball 60 times when we score our first touchdown, and you're not going to beat us. Like you go into these situations knowing, I think that the kid will be good in 3 to 4 years. Hey, he'll be a project.
Listen, Rich,
he's going to be hanging around.
What, at the very least, what did you invest in him? You invested money.
Yeah, that's it.
Right? You didn't draft any draft capital at all.
And I'm not saying he's going to be better than Jalen Hurts. So don't quote me on
it. But listen,
not the people who are like, oh, he just hates Jalen Hurts. It's like, I want Jalen to do well. But if you get these project quarterbacks and you never know what can happen.
Well, and listen, Rich, best case scenario is that he plays or progresses well enough that you can then ship him somewhere and get draft capital and turn what was nothing into something. I mean, they've been notorious for doing it. Look, God, how many times, Rich, have we seen them turn a backup quarterback?
Kevin
Cobb, right? AJ, like go back. AJ, like they have been, for Christ's sake, they turned fucking 11 into a first round pick that turns that pick ends up turning into AJ Brown.
Yeah, which is amazing. We didn't get him on draft night when we wanted AJ. When we wanted AJ Brown, we didn't get him. But Howie made all of our draft nights complete because he was like, "Hi, you're not going to get him this year on draft night, but we got him this year on draft night."
No, and just to talk about the AJ Brown thing, right? And listen, Adam, in regards to Rager,
he isn't. I guarantee he's not going. I guarantee he's on this team.
No. I don't envision a scenario, Adam, where he's on this roster at all.
I guarantee he will be on this roster.
You think so?
I think so. I do not think they're going to cut him. I don't think they're going to cut him. He's not going to get traded. I think they're going to keep him around for special teams. Because we don't have special teams.
Do what? He's horrible on special teams, right?
I'm not saying he's good. I'm just saying, he's good. I'm just saying, who else is back there? I would give half a shot to the kid that was the undrafted free agent from Utah. Yeah.
You're
right. Rich, didn't we sign the skier? Didn't we sign like an Olympic skier?
Oh, Jeremy Bloom.
Yeah. No, we just signed one, didn't we? He was an Oregon player.
No. We signed a kid who was an Olympic sprinter.
Yeah, that kid. Yeah. I was like, Jeremy Bloom was the skier. We just love Olympians. We just want all. Listen, Kurt Angle's going to come out and just start ankle locking everybody on the field.
It's the city of brotherly love. Everybody gets it. Everybody gets a chance.
Vince Papali's cousin. Doug Papali, the pizza maker, is going to be slanging the rock in a few days.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
You got to love it. But no, I think we did really well on draft night. I think that center that we drafted is a beast.
That is a next year move.
That's totally a next year move. But then that means Landon Dickerson's going to play guard. Okay, that's fine.
All right, and now Rich, look at their line. Right, look how young their line got young.
And I guarantee Stoutland's like, you're going to take this guy, and I'm going to make him the next Jason Kelce.
Well, and how about Kelce basically advocating for them to be able to take him, to say, like, he was my favorite guy that I looked at. Kelce was involved in the draft process. That to me says he's going to be the guy in the middle. And now
Kelce's getting a coaching job with the Eagles after he retires. He's going to be the assistant offensive line coach. Him and Stoutland are just going to just turn these guys into just Pro Bowlers.
He's just going to be around for forever.
Yeah, and I love him. So I'm so happy that he's back with the Eagles, and I'm happy he's going to retire with them.
But like you've got now Mailata, right? You've got Lane Johnson. Now you've got Landon Dickerson. You've got Kelce. You've got Kelce's replacement.
Yep.
Right? And then right guard could be Sayamalu, could be –
I'm glad they got rid of Herbrig. That makes me happy. Thank God. Thank God he stunk. The turnstile. See you later, mate. It's going to be interesting, though. It's going to be interesting this season. I don't have any really more to like comment on, like record-wise or anything like that. It's just going to be interesting. A lot of athletes on that defensive side. I don't think Gannon's a genius, but hopefully he does the whole we're going to play to our strength thing, and we're going to play to, the team's weaknesses, like on the other side of the ball. Let's see what happens.
Rich, anything surprise you on draft night?
The A.J. Brown thing was nuts. I was ecstatic. The most shocking thing for me for draft night was Arizona trading their first round pick for Hollywood Brown.
Yeah.
That was just weird. I was
a lot.
Okay.
Speaking of that, think about all the guys that are that have been on the move this offseason.
Too many. It's insane.
Right?
It's absolutely insane the amount of wide receivers that are on the move. And 17 wide receivers were taken in the first 3 rounds of this NFL draft.
Just that to me shows you why. And here's what teams are doing now, right? So nobody wants to pay the wide receiver, right? So they get the best out of they can in that first.
Wide receiver is the new running back.
Yeah, right. And then when it comes to getting them that new contract, they get shipped off, right? They draft a new guy, right? Look at exactly what Tennessee just did, right? They trade A.J. Brown to the Eagles, right? And they basically draft what is essentially a clone.
Yeah.
In the kid they drafted from Arkansas.
Traylon
Burks. Like,
you're right. His comp was A.J. Brown. I was like, they traded A.J. Brown and they got A.J. Brown. Well, that's cool. God. Good for them.
Yeah.
Traylon Burks is going to be a stud. But you still have Ryan Tannehill. You have Ryan Tannehill throwing you the ball, so good luck.
Right.
And with Ryan Tannehill.
To talk about him for a minute, you see the stuff that he came out with the comments about Malik.
He's a jerk off, dude. He's sad. He's salty.
Right.
He got paid, though. He got paid for 1 good year.
Correct.
He sucked his whole career, had 1 good season,
right.
Got a shit ton of money, and now he's going to suck again. I don't feel bad for you. Enjoy your $100 million, suck a dick, and sit down. Fuck Ryan Tannehill. He's a ginger. He has no soul. Fuck him.
And I saw that, and I'm like, what the fuck does that say about you as a dude?
Yeah.
Like,
I'll never publicly come out and say that I won't mentor this guy. I'll be like, oh, yeah, I'll give him – but I totally wouldn't tell him everything. We are competing for a job. I get that.
Right, but you've been – like, those guys have been in enough PR meetings to know how to fucking say, hey, listen.
You better smooch correctly.
We're all going to be in the same room together. We're all going to grow – like, Watch fucking 5 minutes of Bull Durham and pull 5 one-liners out of, this is a really team game. We're all going to band together. We're going to work like.
Yeah, and then go in the locker room and duke it out.
And then go in the locker room and look at him and be like,
fuck you.
Yeah. But to come out in public just.
It makes you look like an idiot, but it also makes Mike Vrabel look like an idiot because it's like you just traded A.J. Brown away. So Ryan Tannehill is already pissed off. Well, there goes my weapon. Oh, I got Traylon Burks. Great. A rookie who's got to get acclimated to NFL corners. We'll see how that is.
Right.
Oh, I got Robert Woods who's coming off an ACL tear. Great wide receiver. Love Bobby Woods. One of the Eagles who will get him. Just saying. For a fifth, I would have taken him. But now Ryan Tannehill is sitting there like going like this. Like, what the hell am I supposed to do?
Right.
And all of a sudden they draft another quarterback, and he's like, well, this place really doesn't want to fucking compete. So now I'm going to be a dickhead, which is the terrible attitude to have. Right. And no one's going to trade for Ryan Tannehill. So ride out your career in Tennessee and die, and you're not going to get another contract because you're not better than anybody else who's starting right now. In my opinion, Ryan Tannehill is like one of the bottom 5 guys. He was only like a top 12 guy for fantasy football, but real football, he is like bottom of the bottom. Like, I do not think Ryan Tannehill is a good quarterback. That's just me. All right. And I'm glad we're not on that boat.
Rich, I'm going to go into your wheelhouse. Which one of these rookies hits as far as fantasy? Because I know you're a huge fantasy dude. So which which offensive guy do you think hits most in the in fantasy?
Where'd Breece Hall go?
The Jets.
No, that's terrible. I thought he went to the Bills. All right, wide receivers drafted. Drake London goes to Atlanta, but he has Mariota thrown to him.
Right, Garrett Wilson's with the Jets.
No.
Zach Wilson, right? Jameson Williams with the Lions with Jared Goff.
No.
Jahan Dotson is the kid that you were talking about, Rich, with the Commanders that got drafted at 16.
Sneaky, but still has Carson Wentz throwing on the ball.
Correct. Traylon Burks is what we just talked about with Tannehill.
Nope. The running back. Jesus Christ. What's his name? Jesus. He was the second running back taken in the draft.
Oh, God. I'm trying to think here.
Now I got to look at it. Jesus Christ. What is his name? I'm going to – because I think he is most likely – all right, here we go. Here's the draft. I think it was round 3. Where we at? I'm going to find him.
While Rich is looking,
yes,
check out our sponsors in the bottom below. I'm going to Rich, while you're looking, if you want to check out our sponsors, we've got if you're looking on the screen right now, you've got our link tree available where you've got all of our direct links to purchase from our sponsors, from La Terrain Luxury Watches, Team Clicks, Shocked Energy. Yo, we're still waiting on our T-shirt and our samples.
Yeah, I want my damn samples.
I'm not sure where they are, but listen, I got some DMs from you that said you're shipping them. So
I found my guy. It was the third guy, James Cook, running back from Georgia.
Oh, okay.
Going to the Bills.
Okay.
I think he's going to be the most impactful, just because of the great offense that he plays on. But the one wide receiver who stands out to me, which I think he goes to a great situation because he's most likely going to slide in immediately as the number 2, Wan'Dale Robinson to the Giants.
Okay.
I like him like sneaky late. I'm not really in love with many of these rookies because if you look like in the first round, okay, you had Drake London being the first guy off the board for Atlanta. He's going to be force-fed, but they're not really that great. Garrett Wilson, it was funny because Barstool put out a thing, like a draft thing, and I shared it with all my friends. It was like the Eagles on their first pick. It said 10th best wide receiver, and then the Saints, like after them, picking pick the wide receiver the Eagles should have taken. Like, it was hilarious. And they said for the Jets, wide receiver that Zach Wilson will still overthrow. And that's exactly what Garrett Wilson is. The most interesting thing was how many picks that the Saints traded for Chris Olave.
Yeah.
I don't like Chris Olave. I mean, for dynasty value, yeah, because he's a young rookie and he's just going to be there.
Okay.
I'm not feeling it. Like, if I had to go with anybody, I like Dotson the best. I do like Dotson the best. I think he's got the talent.
Do you think
he doesn't have the quarterback? But I'm going to go with James Cook, running back for the Bills. Is probably going to be the most beneficial from just draft spot. You go to the Bills, you go to a great offense. That's what you want. And the competition is Devin Singletary.
All right, Rich, I'm gonna go in a different direction. I'm gonna go to the back end of the second round.
Okay.
And I'm gonna go to a team that's got an insanely good quarterback, and they had to draft a wide receiver.
We're talking Sky Moore.
Christian Watson. So Christian Watson was a guy that from North Dakota State that got drafted by the Packers, right? And Christian Watson is a guy with size. He's a guy who is 4', 210 from North Dakota State, and he goes to the Packers, right? And the Packers don't have.
He was the second pick of the second round, Don.
Maybe I got mixed up. Damn it.
Yeah, he was the second pick of the second round. But you're good. I'll take it.
Hey, listen, it was the second round. Sorry. I'm thinking back. I got confused between the back end of the first round, second round, 3 days. But Christian Watson is going to be a kid that, has the size. He's coming from a small school, but, is playing and is used to playing in similar climate. I think it gives Aaron Rodgers a weapon to be able to throw to. Now that his weapon is now going to be running routes in Vegas, in Devontae Adams. I think, he's coming into a good situation where he's got size, he's got talent, he can get open in space. He's a guy that, and there's no one else to throw the ball to.
Nope.
So Christian Watson is my guy.
I like it.
Any other draft stuff you want to talk about? Or we can talk about the Phils for a hot minute.
Nah, I'm good.
So, your fightings, Rich.
Yeah.
Let's just put it this way. I went to the supermarket the other day.
Okay.
And on the back of the milk carton, there was a missing sign.
And was it the Phillies hitting?
The Phillies bats were all lined up on the back of the milk carton. What the fuck happened? They go to New York. They get no hit by the fucking Mets.
Yeah, that was terrible.
Right? And then they bounce back on Saturday, get a win. And then, Rich, they hit Scherzer. Like,
yeah.
The thing that boggles my mind is, Rich, is that a guy that we killed the last couple years in Nola had two really good consecutive starts against Milwaukee and the Mets, but got 0 run production.
The Cole Hamels treatment.
God.
I hope we don't go through that again. We'll pick up wins for Jamie Moyer, but we won't hit one. I mean, it's the same thing. Look at Zach Wheeler tonight. Like, Zach Wheeler's pitching Zach Wheeler right now, 7 2/3, 78 pitches, 7 Ks, pitching in the 8th inning. Like, and we're probably going to lose to Texas, even though it's 0-0. But this is what happens when the Phillies don't hit. Like, we knew this. This is my problem. I love the fact we're going to have a bunch of guys who hit 25 to 30 home runs. But when they don't hit, it's going to be bad. And it's funny because it's like they slump together. We hit as a team, we slump as a team. And to get no hit by the Mets, like a combined 4-pitcher no-hitter, that's absolutely atrocious and it's unforgivable.
I mean, Tyler McGill is not he's not a guy who lights the world on fire, but he's not crash juice, but he ain't Cy Young either.
No. And Where the fuck is Bryce Harper?
Like,
Come on, Bryce. Like, I need you to get on that tear. I'm going to kill you again. I'm killing you now, and I'm killing you early. Bryce, wake the fuck up.
Let's go, Rich. Because listen, if there was anything that woke up Bryce Harper last year, it was
my Maloiks.
It was. We need you to throw the Maloiks. We need you to throw the.
He's not worth the contract, Don. MVP was a fluke. It was a fluke, Don. He'll never do it again. He can't do it back to back. I mean, Jesus Christ, he's batting 234, 4 home runs. Like, stinks. Overrated. Come on, Bryce, wake up, man. We need you. I'm not gonna lie, Schwarber sucks. Schwarber's batting 183, and it's like, and he's been red hot. Like, he's batting 183, and he's been red hot the past week.
Did he blow his load on the first at bat of the game of the season?
Don, he's batted like over. I think he was like over 400. Yeah, he was over 400 for 2 games. He went 1 for 4. Oh, because he had a home run. And then against the Mets, he had 2 home runs, 1 3 for 4. Then yesterday he goes 0 for 5. And today he's 0 for 2.
Oh, God. And listen, he was a guy who started at the beginning of the lineup, was leading off for a while, is now batting in the middle of the lineup. Like, find a stroke, man. Like it's not the middle of the summer, but like, it ain't beginning of April where it's like 40 degrees. Like, it's time to wake up. I know that you had the shortened spring training, but like, come on.
Yeah, no excuses. Like, this is why it's really hard to talk about baseball, because you can kill them one week and then be super excited the next. I like talking baseball in like quarters. Like, that's how I like dissecting the season. It's like, because I'll kill them this week and then be like, oh my God, they're the best next week, and my hopes will be up. Like, after the first series, I'm like, oh, they're going to go to the World Series. And then after the next one, I'm like, trade everybody. And then after the next series, I'm like, because that's how we are as fans. That's how we react. Like, not doing well. They're not winning 182 games.
Not to fault us, but like, because we are a football first city, everything is an Eagles game.
Yes.
Right. So everything that's going on is going to be like live and die, like Heartbreak Hotel every game.
Yeah.
And you cannot watch a baseball season like that, because for fuck's sake, there's just too many fucking games. 45
games. We'll give a breakdown after 45 games on how the first quarter of the season went.
Right.
And at the All-Star break, me and Don will give you how we feel at the All-Star break. And then after that, before September hits, we will give you another breakdown, and then we'll give you the fourth quarter highlights. That's how I look at baseball now, because I can't get myself like over upset or over excited because it's baseball. And who knows if half these guys are actually going to be here during the trade deadline.
True.
Because people get moved all the time. Like, I'm not saying Castellanos and Schwarber and those guys. I mean, one of them might go, probably Schwarber, because why the fuck not? If anybody will take him. But I think that's like his thing. He does better when he gets traded halfway through the season and decides to hit home runs like he did for, I believe it was Boston last year. And then it earns him a big 1-year deal, which, okay, I get it. But at the same time, I don't. So, yeah, baseball is one of those sports that just infuriates the fuck out of you, because it brings you up and then brings you down. But like you said, we look at things as if there's 16 games or 17 now, because we're Eagles fans. So every game we live and die by. When in baseball, it's like every 3 series you can live and die by. How are we out of 10? How are we out of 20? That's how we need to look. How do we fare against good teams versus bad teams? Because the Phillies, we love playing down the competition. And that's all I got to say about that.
Oh, well, listen. I'm like, as far as like the Phillies, like I'm excited to get back down there. I haven't been down there, what feels like now 3 seasons.
Yeah.
So that part, I'm excited to get back down and get back there to see this team play. But as far as the product that's on the field, Holy shit, does it feel like fucking Groundhog's Day, man?
That's
It's so hard to it makes it so difficult to stay interested in, and it feels like it's that like recycling sign of like it's a new season, get really excited, watch them fuck it up, wait for the season to end, and just start over again.
This is why I still wanted the lockout, because I'm not excited. Like, I'm still not like in baseball mode yet.
Gotcha.
It hasn't been like, there wasn't enough spring training. There wasn't enough talk. There wasn't like all these moves were getting done late for all these teams. Like, there just like wasn't anything to like amp me up and like have people be like, oh yeah, I can't wait to see this guy. It's like,
yeah,
no, next year will be different because hopefully it'll be back to normal. But I mean, the product that they're putting out in the field, like you said, it's the same shit, different year. I just don't. It is what it is. May the fourth be with you too.
Rich, are you a Star Wars guy?
I do love me some Star Wars. I saw the Obi-Wan Kenobi trailer today, which looks pretty dope. I'm excited to see that in the bringing back of Darth Vader. So that's going to be cool. Or the making of Darth Vader. I'm sorry. Yes, the making of Darth Vader, because it takes place before all that. Because you get to see a young Luke, which is pretty dope. So I'm excited for that. I did not see Solo, but I heard it was hot garbage, so I'm glad I didn't.
All right.
I saw all the new ones, which I really didn't care for either. So I would say Return of the Jedi is probably my favorite.
All right. Listen, I will by no means call myself a Star Wars fanatic.
I'm not a fanatic. I just really enjoy the movies.
I've watched the movies. I got through so I from a friend realized that I was supposed to watch 4, 5, and 6 first.
Yes.
Then go back and watch 1, 2, and 3.
Which 4, 5, and 6 also were not good.
So I watched them.
Yeah.
If you love Star Wars and you're out there and you're listening and you're a Star Wars fan, I'm happy for you.
Mm-hmm.
It just didn't hit for me.
Nah.
So
you were better off just watching the original 3 and just calling it a day.
Maybe I'll just do that. Maybe I'll just go back and watch 4, 5, and 6 and just stop.
Yeah, no, I'm talking. I don't even call them 4, 5, and 6. I call them the originals. Watch the original Star Wars.
The OG.
Yeah, the OG Star Wars. And if people are like, oh, the OG Star Wars, like from the early 2000s and 99. No, I'm talking about like George Lucas, like 70s, 80s ones. Like, they're just the best ones. I mean, even as cheesy as the graphics were, it was so ahead of its time then. And it still holds up. Like, I still do enjoy watching those. If somebody was like, hey, man, you want to come over and watch The Phantom Menace? I'd probably not be their friend anymore. You want to watch Clone Wars? It's like, no, I don't, man. I'm just going to go David Carradine myself. So, see you later. No, I'd rather not. And I can't even tell you what the third one's called in that series. Fucking beats me, man.
Listen, no, this is not a Star Wars pod.
No, it's not, and I'm sorry for offending anybody.
If you are looking for Star Wars information right now, you are at the wrong place. Please go back to the Apple Podcast Store.
Yeah, and Google
Star Wars and listen to something else, because this is not for you.
No, it's not, because I have no idea what I'm talking about at this point.
Chris is asking about Nick and Oscar.
They're thriving and surviving. Busy dudes. Busy dudes. Oscar, actually, happy Cinco de Mayo tomorrow, Oscar. Mama Asa's birthday was a few days ago, so happy birthday, Mama Asa. We love you. And, yeah, big party down in La Esperanza tomorrow. That's weird. That planner just moved on its own. Kind of freaked me out.
That's a little Sixth Sense action, man, Rich.
That was weird because it literally went up. Like it literally, like Don, like it raised up and then slowly came down. Like somebody like put their hand on it and like pulled it back up and pulled it down. So that kind of got me a little freaked because I literally watched it. And
I see that, people.
I'm just making sure. Yeah. Like this thing, it literally went like this. It went like this.
Get the fuck out of here.
And then went down. And I didn't shake the table. Like, this is me shaking the table. Like, I can't give enough force because it's solid wood to make this thing go up like this and then slowly put itself back down. It was like somebody had their hand on it. Like, that's absolutely
all right. Now I'm free. I'll break down a little bit.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna end on that.
All right. And Rich, with that, final thoughts.
Ghosts are real. I can tell you ghost stories all day. Don, that's another good podcast. I actually, fun fact, Rob Hubel, he's a comedian and he's an actor. He has a Twitch show and it's like about ghost stories. And I've reached out to him on Instagram. Like, now I'm catching shit out of the corner of my eye and it's freaking me out, Don. Like, I'm just like stirring shit in my head. I'm gonna start turning some lights up. Like, that's so weird.
Oh God.
Yeah, and like I haven't seen ghosts in this house, but that's a whole, like I said, whole nother podcast to tell you some ghost stories. But anyway, when Rob,
listen, maybe over the summer we just scrap the sports because the Phillies, I can only imagine, are going to suck, and we'll just
tell ghost stories,
scary ghost stories.
But I reached out to him and he messaged me back. He's like, "Oh, later, like when I have another show." I'm like, "All right." So I'm like sitting there, and then one day I get a message from him like, "Hey man, going live tonight. Do you want to come on and tell your ghost story?" And I was like, "Hell yeah, I do." So it was cool. Like, I was waiting in like the room, like kind of how this is. Right. And he's like, "Oh, and this guy has a story." So like I told him like my 2 ghost stories and he's like, "Oh, is that it?" I'm like, "Nah, dude, I have like 6 more." He's like, "Are you serious?" I'm like, "Yeah, no, like I've seen ghosts my whole life. Like it's crazy." And then don't freak me out because my mother-in-law, like her house, like no legit, she has like spirits follow her. And it's hilarious because I see them and she sees them. So like we'll be looking at each other and I'll be like, and she's like, "Yeah, I totally see what you're saying."
I see dead people.
Oh, all the time. It's fucking creepy. Don't ask me why I see it, but I do. And it gives me goosebumps and that's it.
Oh, listen, Rich, for final thoughts for tonight, Mother's Day is coming up on Sunday.
Oh, that's a better final thought than I had.
Shout out to the moms. Shout out to the grandmoms. The stepmoms.
Mamas.
The baby's mamas. Your mama.
Mama's. Word to your mother. Word to your mother.
Listen, the ladies in our lives, whether it's a mom, your wife, whatever, stepmom, whatever role you fill, whatever motherly role you fill, shout out to you for all the sacrifices that they make.
Mm-hmm.
For if you're a sports mom and you're driving the kids to the games, if you're a grandmom that shows up and cheers on your kid at T-ball, whatever you do to be the person that you are, shout out to all the moms for everything that they do, and all the important women in our lives, whatever role they fill. Shout out to all you.
Amen to that.
With that, Rich, we're going to just give one last shout out to our sponsors. You'll see them on the link tree that is in our bio on all of our social media. You're going to see La Terrain luxury watches. You're going to see Team Clicks. You're going to see Shocked Energy. You're going to see Streaker Sports. All the links that are on that link tree go directly to support us. So, if you're looking to shout us out, if you're looking to get us some feedback for some merch, we would appreciate any kind of support. You can find us at all of your podcasting platforms. Find us on YouTube.
Tiki Live.
Tiki Live. We'll be on Tiki Live tomorrow at noon and on Saturday at noon. We'll have Jason and I are going to work on a hockey show that will kind of wrap up the Flyers season and kind of start talking about the preview of the NHL playoffs that have started. So be on the lookout for that, and keep those notifications on in case we just we just decide to surprise you with an episode on a random day at a random time. So Rich, with that,
goodbye, Philly.
Later, Philly.